What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. Always, I'm Nathan Holloway, and with me, Jared Trish.
What's going on?
We're going to start in the NFL, where, every coach's worst nightmare is Black Monday. And this Monday was Black Monday. That was where most coaches know they are getting fired, and there were 3 people who got fired, although one was not on Monday, one was on Tuesday. First one was the Jaguars fired head coach Doug Peterson. Took him half a season too long to do this. The surprising one was the Patriots firing Gerard Mayo after just one season. Also, probably didn't help that they beat the Bills in the final game, and it cost them the first pick in the draft. And then on Tuesday, the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce, which was also kind of a surprise, but not as much as these two. The Giants are set to keep Brian Daboll and their GM. Imagine keeping the problems and getting rid of 2 guys who weren't the problem in Saquon and Daniel Jones. The Colts are also expected to keep Shane Steichen as their head coach and their GM. The Colts have not made the playoffs in a long time.
It's been since Peyton. That was what, like 2000?
It has not been since Peyton. Andrew Luck made it.
Oh, did he?
Pretty sure. So, with the head coach openings, there are 6 head coach openings, so we're going to give our thoughts on which would be the best for a head coach to go to. So it is between the Jags, Patriots, Bears, Jets, Saints, and Raiders. Which would you want to coach for?
Who would I want to coach for?
Yes.
Crap, they all suck. Probably the Patriots because they have the best young core and the best QB right now, I feel like, out of all of them.
I was going to say the Patriots, but I would, I hate to say that, I would pick the Bears just because you have I would pick the Patriots to have Drake May, but other than that, they don't have much. The Bears have enough with Caleb Williams that it's going to be an easier job as long as you are able to get a good offensive and defensive coordinator. And the Bears are up and coming. Caleb Williams looked really good this season. It didn't help that his offensive line made him the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. I'm really surprised he was not hurt at all this season, which is kind of a testament to him.
Yeah. Because
most guys would not have survived back there. Other than that, the one that I would not want to coach for is the Jets. Like, that is at the bottom. The Jets have absolutely no future at all.
I don't even know about the Raiders. All they have is
all the Raiders need is QB.
Bell.
All the Raiders need is QB.
What Saints?
The Saints.
It'll
be interesting with what they do with Derek Carr. The Jags is also interesting because Trevor hasn't lived up to the hype, and I don't think he will. The Titans locked up the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Travis Hunter, you are officially a Tennessee Titan, unless they decide to take a QB because they don't want. Apparently, they're done with Will Levis. He showed promise. I'd rather have Will Levis than any quarterback in this draft. I'm going to tell you that right now, except maybe Cam Ward.
Yeah.
But they will be stupid enough to not take him and take Shooter Sanders, who shouldn't even be a first-round pick. It's all because of the stupid-ass name. Can't tell. I don't like him. I don't like anybody from Colorado, although Travis Hunter is going to be a very good player in the NFL. The rest of that roster will not be, especially Deion's 2 kids. And yes, I called him Deion. I ain't calling him Coach Prime, because Coach Prime's ass. And y'all just keep riding him like he's the best freaking coach and best player of all time. And he was a pretty good player, but in 2 separate sports. Christian Watson tore his ACL. He is out for the Packers against the Eagles. I don't even know why he played. For one, I don't know why the Packers played anybody in their game.
Yeah.
Because not only did Christian Watson get hurt, Jordan Love and Malik Willis also got hurt. So we could be on our 3rd string QB. The Eagles are in the same situation. Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol. He has not cleared it yet. They play on Sunday, I believe. Because it's the AFC than NFC. They play on Sunday, so I'd be happy with Hurts not playing, but if he's not able to play, they don't know if Kenny Pickett will be able to go, so it may be Tanner McKee, who looked really good in last week's start, and then coming in for Pickett week 17. Also, Tyreek Hill may have demanded a trade. Despite the GM saying that he had to sit down with him and said that he didn't. I believe he did. This has been a really bad week for Miami with Tyreek Hill and Jimmy Butler. So week 18 recap. We're going to fly through this because week 18, although it was a very good week, didn't really matter too much. The Ravens dominated the Browns 35-10. Lamar Jackson, he's your MVP. I don't care what anybody says. Bengals took down the Steelers 19-17. Big thing out of this, Jamar Chase won the Triple Crown for receiving, and yet he probably still won't win Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. The Bengals, they did all they could to make a run at the playoffs. Won 5 consecutive games in the season. Didn't work out. The Bears defeat the Packers. I'm not even going to talk about this game because, my God, that's one of the worst games I've ever watched. If we play like that, we deserve to lose by 70 to the Eagles, and it won't be a close game. Chargers blew out the Raiders 34-20. Justin Herbert 346 yards, 2 touchdowns. Quentin Johnston 186 receiving yards. Texans defeated the Titans. Davis Mills had 128 yards. Damian Pierce started the game since they rested Joe Mixon. He had 176 yards, 2 touchdowns. Panthers defeated the Falcons 44-38 in overtime, ending their playoff hopes, although it wouldn't have mattered anyway since the Buccaneers won. Bryce Young, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. I believe we can officially say Bryce Young's probably going to be the future starting quarterback of the Panthers.
No, say no.
He played really good.
Stupid. Oh, yeah. They're like, oh, we don't want you anymore.
Patriots upset the Bills. I don't know what the score is because I said 23-26. It might have been 20. I don't know. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's the right score. I don't know what I typed. So Joe Milton got the start. Actually, Drake May got the start. He got taken out after 1 pass. I don't even know why they started him. Joe Milton basically got the start. 241 yards and a touchdown. He looked really good. And he should probably be starting somewhere next year. Because I would take him over most of this upcoming draft class. Colts defeat the Jags 26-23 in overtime. Joe Flacco, 264 yards and a touchdown. Mariners defeat the Cowboys 23-19 to lock up the 6th seed. They did not. What? I said Commanders. No, I didn't. They did not start Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota started, had 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Trey Lance started for the Cowboys, had 244 yards. The Eagles took down the Giants 20-13. Tanner McKee, 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. Seahawks defeated the Rams 30-25. Geno, 223 yards and a career high 4 passing touchdowns. Jimmy Garoppolo got the start for the Rams. Kind of forgot he was still in the NFL.
Yeah. Broncos
blew out the Chiefs 38-0. Bo Nix, 321 yards, 4 touchdowns. Carson Wentz had a terrible day, 98 yards. Of course, the Chiefs played absolutely nobody.
He still sucks.
They didn't need to. Cardinals blew out the 49ers 47-24. Kyler Murray, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Dobbs, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. 49ers officially finished last in the NFC West.
Who saw that coming?
Nobody. The Lions dominated the Vikings 31-9.
This is embarrassing.
Supposed to be a great game. It was not. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 total touchdowns. And Sam Darnold was back. So, we're going to give our playoff preview, which you will eventually see on the Instagram. It'll be on, actually, by the time you listen to this, because I have a schedule for tonight. So, we're going to give our picks all the way through. I will go ahead and let you begin with the NFC Vikings Rams.
I think I had the Vikings.
You did have
yeah.
I also have the Vikings. If they play like they did last week, though,
yeah,
the Rams will easily win this game. Commanders and Bucks.
I think I picked the Commanders.
I also picked the Commanders. This is one of the best matchups of the weekend, though.
Yeah,
because it's 2
teams.
Yeah, but they've been the fact that the Commanders are even in the playoffs is amazing.
Yeah, from being one of the worst teams in the league to making the playoffs.
Final game, Packers and Eagles.
I picked the Eagles.
I also picked the Eagles. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play, I'm going with the Packers.
I still think they can get it done.
Yeah, shut up. Let me have hope that the Packers will not be another first-round exit. Because we don't look like we should even be in the playoffs
Saquon
right now.
is going to run down your throats.
No, he's not. We can stop their run. So we both have the exact same matchup. So who makes it to the NFC Championship game?
I had the Lions and Eagles.
I also had the Lions and the Eagles, and I have the Eagles moving on to the Super Bowl.
I had the Lions.
I believe that's one of two that we did not agree on. In the AFC, the Chargers and the Texans.
I had the Chargers.
I also had the Chargers. The Texans have not looked like a playoff team the second half of the season at all. They're just lucky that they sit in one of the worst divisions, probably the worst division.
Yeah.
Steelers and Ravens, one of the best rivalries in the NFL.
Ravens.
It will not be a good game. The Ravens are going to absolutely murder them unless the Steelers play Justin Fields at quarterback, because Russell Wilson has decided that he doesn't know how to play QB anymore. The Broncos and Bills.
I think this is going to be one of the best games.
I believe it will be as well.
But I picked the Bills.
I also picked the Bills. It's going to be very hard for Josh Allen against this. The Broncos have probably the second best defense in the NFL. Especially with, he has absolutely no weapons on offense besides James Cook out of the backfield. So if they're able to stop Josh Allen, this Bills defense is not good enough to stop Bo Nix and the Broncos offense. I think it will be a very good game. We each have Chargers and Chiefs. Who wins?
I picked the Chiefs just because the Chiefs always find a way to get it.
I went with an upset. I went with the Chargers. I believe the Chargers are the better team right now than the Chiefs. The Chiefs are also, their starters are going to be very rusty because they will not have played in 2 weeks. And I believe that will be a huge factor in why they lose. Although it is at home. And, Taylor Swift will be there, so all the Swifties will be, riding her. The other one is Bills Ravens. I have the Ravens. Who do you have making the Super Bowl?
Ravens.
I also have the Ravens. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Ravens.
I also have the Ravens. Who do you have winning?
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, so
hey, I gotta stay with the Ravens because before we did this at the beginning of the year, I picked Lamar Jackson to win MVP. He looked like he's going to. And I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
I don't remember who I had winning the Super Bowl. I believe I also picked the Ravens.
I thought you went Bill. No, you didn't go Bill.
I would never go with the Bills. I didn't go with an NFC team. It had to be the Ravens.
I think you picked the Chargers.
I did not pick. Why would I pick I didn't expect the Chargers to make the playoffs.
I don't know. We'll have to go back in the archives.
Yeah, that's too much work. I don't really care.
I care. I got mine written down right over here. I still got the NASCAR playoff, baby.
Yeah, with your hoarding of 50 million sheets of paper over there.
Yeah.
My God. Moving on to the association, Kyrie Irving is out 1 to 2 weeks with a bulging disc in his back. This is a tough blow for the Mavericks, who are...
I know who you picked. You picked the 49ers to win.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Pretty sure I did.
Yeah, I think you did.
Don't interrupt me. Luka Doncic is already out for the Mavericks, so this is a tough blow for the Mavs. But they absolutely whooped a healthy Lakers squad last night, so it clearly doesn't even matter, although beating the Lakers is not very hard to do right now. The biggest move of the week, the biggest move, not the biggest news, it is tied to the biggest news of the week, but the Suns benched Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic. They will both be coming off the bench. Bradley Beal was making over $50 million a season, and he is now on the bench because he does not fit well next to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in the starting lineup. Do you like this move for the Suns? Also, Yusuf Nurkic he's bad.
Oh, benching really Bradley Beal and Nurkic? Yeah. It's not going to help them because they suck. But, I mean, who's the other big guy?
Mason Plumlee.
That's a downgrade, in my opinion.
Because they don't play bull.
It's not going to help them. I mean...
I agree with that. It's not going to help them. With me now covering the Suns at my new job, it's just looking at... They started these... Actually, I'll go into this later on because I have this. But the Suns are just bad. They also did this to try, I believe, and most around the league believe, that they did this to try and make Beal just pissed at them, so that he waives his no-trade clause, so that they can trade for Jimmy Butler, because they would have to trade him due to the salaries. And Beal right now, although his agent came out today and said, he told Brian Windhorst from ESPN, I did an article on it if you want to read it, at Athlon, that Beal's agent said that he is not going to waive his no-trade clause and that he wants to be with the Suns. I don't know why. I also did a interesting piece today. I thought this was an interesting point by a former Spurs assistant coach and now Las Vegas Aces head coach Becky Hammon. I thought this was very interesting what she said yesterday on NBA Today, that this reminds her of what the Spurs did with Manu Ginobili early in his career. Because remember, whenever Manu came over, he was a starter, but they moved him to the bench because Pop, had to set him down and be like, you would be better off in the second unit. He said that could be a very similar thing.
I don't see it.
I somewhat see it just because he doesn't fit with the other two, but the rest of their roster is not as good as the Spurs roster back then. And I mean, it always seems like when one of their stars shows up, the other two don't. Because last night they lost to the Hornets. The Hornets who had lost 10 consecutive games. Devin Booker showed up. He had 39 points. KD had 26, but he shot like 8 of 18 from the field. Bradley Beal had 10 off the bench. He had a terrible shooting night, although most of their roster did. So I don't think this is the Suns. If they cannot land Bradley Beal, and I don't think landing Bradley Beal will work anyway, because I don't see him, Booker, and Durant being any better than them being with Beal. This is worse than the Nets.
I mean,
big three.
This team, once you look past those three, it's nobody's after those three. Like,
I mean, their fourth best player is Tyus Jones, and then their fifth best player is their rookie Ryan Dunn, who replaced Beal in the starting lineup because he's a great defender, and that's something that they don't have. They can score. I mean, they have enough scorers on their roster. I mean, that's what happens when you have Booker, Durant, and Beal, but they can't play defense. And also, once they get down in a game, they don't try.
Yeah.
So, I feel really bad for Mike Budenholzer as their head coach. Yeah. Like, he's just... I mean, he accepted the job in the offseason to try and turn this around. They started off the season 8-1. Remember that. I'll get more into that later. Kuminga is out 3 weeks with an ankle injury. It's a tough blow for the Warriors, who have been terrible over the last few weeks. Kawhi dropped 12 points in his return on Saturday. He is taking a leave of absence from the team due to his family being evacuated in the Los Angeles fires. So hopefully that Kawhi and his family are safe and good at this time. But I don't want to call it an excuse because it's a pretty big reason. But it's just another excuse for him to not be on the field.
I don't think he wants to play basketball anymore.
I don't. I mean, he in this post-game press conference, I don't know if you saw what he said. A reporter asked him about his knee, and he said that depending on the day, he's day to day. Like, his knee is day to day because one day he can wake up and be fine, and the next he can wake up and can't walk on it. Eventually, you just got to hang it up.
Yeah, I mean, you already solidified yourself as one of the greats,
and you're just hurting yourself right now with.
Well, he's tarnishing his career.
Yeah.
He's pouring the alma maters out right now.
Except not
a dick.
Kawhi's still a good player. Rodgers is not.
Yeah.
Kawhi just can't stay on the court because he just can't stay healthy.
It's the Mike Trout. Well, let's say that. Great player. One of the best of their kind of, I guess, generation.
I mean, 2-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP.
Defensive player of the year. How many times? Did he win any defensive player of the year?
Twice.
Yeah. And, same with Mike Trout. They just, as they get older, injuries caught up to them, and they can't stay healthy. They can't stay on the court or field, and it tarnishes the legacy. But unlike Kawhi, he has championships.
Yeah.
I mean, unlike Trout, Kawhi has championships.
Another guy whose career is tarnishing right now because the Minnesota Timberwolves are idiots. Anthony Edwards dropped a career-high 53 points in their loss to the Pistons earlier this week. There have been multiple trade rumors that have Ant in it. The people are not very happy. Fans are not very happy that they traded away Cat. I feel like Ant's not very happy that they traded away Cat because Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo do not fit this team at all, and they are, after being in the Western Conference Finals last year. Remember that. They are, I believe they're the 8th seed, but they sit just one game ahead of the Kings for the final play-in spot, or for being outside of the play-in. So, the biggest news of the week: Jimmy Butler officially demanded a trade. from the Heat. The Heat suspended him 7 games due to conduct detrimental to the team. Who cares? His preferred landing spot is Phoenix. Apparently the Bucks and the Grizzlies were in talks to get him yesterday. Beal came out. Apparently, I did a article on this as well. Beal came out and said that, or not Beal, Butler came out and said that to certain teams, just Chris Haynes was the first to report this, that some teams that are interested in him, including the Bucks and the Grizzlies, were named to not trade for him because he would not sign an extension with them. And as of right now, there have been multiple reports by Brian Windhorst, Chris Haynes, basically everybody who covers the NBA, that the only team he would actually sign an extension with, and the only team that's willing to offer him an extension, is the Suns. But of course, they cannot do anything if Bradley Beal does not waive his no trade clause.
Yeah.
Butler is suspended until January 15th, which is an interesting date because players who were signed in the offseason that weren't able to be traded at the first mark in December, that is when they are available to be traded. So also, there have been multiple reports that until Butler gets traded, there are not going to be many other moves around the league because there are a bunch of teams in it. Zion scored 22 in his return from a hamstring injury, the 7th game of the season. He also threw down a
nasty.
Yeah.
360.
Yes. The Pelicans still lost. What's new? They did have a 2-game winning streak over the Washington Wizards, who they passed for not being last in the NBA. It's been a bad year for New Orleans. The Bucks are moving Chris Middleton to the bench ahead of Wednesday night's game against the Spurs. Middleton has not been able to stay healthy this season. I believe he's going to eventually be traded because he just can't stay healthy, and he hasn't been a great fit on the team this season. Some good news for the Magic. Hasn't been very much good news for the Magic this year. Paolo Banchero is set to return for the Magic. More than likely on Friday, they play a back-to-back at home against the Timberwolves and the Bucks. Thursday and Friday, Shams reported that he will be coming back more than likely on Friday, so this is a great sign for the Magic because they desperately need it. Although they are still the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference without, basically half the roster. A game that is currently happening right now, the Thunder and the Cavs, probably the biggest game of the season. The Thunder entered the game 15 consecutive wins, which is a franchise record, not just a Thunder record, is also a whole franchise whenever they were the Sonics. And then the Cavs have a 10-game winning streak. This is the first time in NBA history that these two types of winning streaks have met off in the same game. And both teams are at the top of their conferences. The Cavs currently lead the Thunder right now. Could be a finals preview. It's not my finals preview. Because I don't think the Cavs are for real. But they've proven me wrong so far. So, talking about the Cavs, they lead the Celtics by 5 games in the East. The Knicks have lost 3 straight games. They are the 3rd seed. The Magic are the 4th seed. The Hornets snapped their 10-game skid against the Suns finally. And the Pistons have won 4 consecutive games. They're the 9th seed. They already have more wins this season than they did all of last year. So,
Pistons?
Good job, Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
It's about time. They also suffered a huge blow with Jaden Ivey suffering a broken leg.
It was pretty nasty.
Yeah. In the West, the Thunder lead the Rockets by 6.5 games. Go ahead and give the Thunder the Western Conference a win. The Rockets also have some issues of their own involving Cam Whitmore. The Kings have won 5 straight games since firing Mike Brown. They are 5-1. Been looking really good. They've won 2 of them games in a back-to-back without De'Aaron Fox in both of them. They still sit 11th in the West, but they are only half a game behind the Spurs for the 10th seed. The Suns have lost 18 of their last 26 games after starting the season 8-1. They are 12th in the West, and Moving on to the MLB, the Dodgers signed Hye-Sung Kim. Congratulations. Can we make sure that people from Japan, Korea, anywhere overseas knows that there's more than one team in the MLB? Because everybody's signing with the Dodgers. Still have yet to see where Roki Sasaki signed. The Orioles signed Charlie Morton. This does not fix their pitching issues at all. Justin Verlander signed with the Giants. Probably won't even play half the season. The A's continued to just hand out money. They gave Brent Rooker a 5-year, $60 million extension.
It's a good extension.
The Reds acquired Gavin Lux from the Dodgers. I'm sure you are very happy about this. They absolutely had to give up nobody to get him. And the Nationals signed Ahmed Rosario. Do you have anything on Gavin Lux?
He played pretty good last year. He had a breakout year last year. We got him for pretty much nothing. So it's going to be good to see how he plays a full season.
Pretty much nothing. You got him for literally nothing.
Yeah.
A prospect I've never heard of in cash.
Yeah.
Which is amazing that you guys actually gave him cash.
Probably taken out of the Ellie fund. He's probably going to play every day at second because we got rid of India. So he's going to be our second baseman for now. And I think he's going to be pretty good. I think he's going to fit and gel.
Yeah, you better be good or the nickname Gavin Sucks will continue from him.
He had a breakout year last year. He played pretty damn well.
Also won a World Series.
Yeah.
Dodgers fans were very happy that they traded him. I think they forget that he hit a home run in one of the World Series games that gave them the lead.
Yeah.
Moving on to college football.
And it wasn't Shohei, so they don't care.
Yeah. Moving on to college football.
Did more than Shohei did, though.
Not a very good week of games. We'll say that the best game of the week was Texas beating Arizona State 39-31 in overtime. Ohio State absolutely dominated Oregon, busting both of our brackets. Yeah. And Notre Dame murdered Georgia. Georgia didn't even look like a football team out there. The semifinals are set. It's exactly who everybody expected. Thursday, so whenever you're listening to this, it will be Thursday night, is Notre Dame and Penn State. Who wins?
I think that was already busted for me. That
your whole bracket's busted. Just who cares?
Notre Dame.
Yes, it's Notre Dame. For the people saying we're going to see an all Big Ten final, no. Penn State sucks. Friday's game is against Ohio State and Texas.
Ohio State.
I'm also going with Ohio State. The championship game is Monday, January 20th. I am excited for that. I will not be working that night. So, on to college basketball. The committee took a week off. There are no new rankings this week. I thought that was very interesting. I was waiting Monday whenever I was making this I was waiting for the rankings. They just never came. Number 8, Florida obliterated number 1, Tennessee, 73-43. This is the worst loss by an undefeated number 1 team since 1968. Safe to say, Tennessee is not going to be number 1 next week. The best games this week there's a lot of SEC matchups. Maybe this is why they did not decide to do a new rankings this week, because next week the rankings are going to be absolutely screwed. Because there are so many great, out of these 7 games, 5 of them are SEC games. The best games this week, it all starts on Saturday. 2 games on Saturday. Number 5, Alabama takes on number 10, Texas A&M. And then number 6, Kentucky takes on 14, Mississippi State. Next Tuesday, number 14, Mississippi State takes on number 2, Auburn. And then 23, Ole Miss takes on number 5, Alabama. And Texas A&M, number 10, Texas A&M takes on number 6, Kentucky. Then next Wednesday, the only non-SEC games on the schedule. Number 11, Kansas faces off against number 3, Iowa State. And number 21, West Virginia takes on number 12.
Iowa State's 3?
Yes.
Are they good?
Yes. No, they're just ranked 3rd in the country. Moving on to other sports. Hideki Matsuyama won the Century by 3 strokes over Colin Morikawa. The Sony Open is this weekend. I love a new year because it means golf is back on. Also, some big NASCAR news. 4-time Indy 500 winner Elio Castroneves will attempt to qualify for the Daytona 500 with Trackhouse Racing's Project 91 team. He will also race in the ARCA race at Daytona to get a race in a stock car under his belt.
It's a whole lot different.
It would be great to see him actually make it, though. Elio Castroneves is a motorsport legend.
One of the best IndyCar racers ever.
Thanks.
When you see Mario Andretti.
In NASCAR?
Yeah.
He was in NASCAR.
Was he?
He won a Daytona 500.
You know who I think would be good? Scott Dixon. Put Charles Leclerc out there. Can't be no. He wouldn't wreck no more cars than what Carson Hocevar does.
I want to see Max. I want to see Max and Kyle Larson switch rides. feel like both would do well.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody could do well. A freaking newborn baby could do well in Red Bull. In his Red Bull car.
Maybe not Sergio's.
Honestly, they probably would do better than Sergio. I mean, that doesn't take much.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't mention. That is all I have. You have anything else? Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy the college football playoffs. It begins Thursday night and goes on into Friday. Enjoy the first week of the NFL playoffs. It begins on Saturday and continues Sunday and Monday with one game next Monday. And then, enjoy a huge week of college basketball as well, especially if you're an SEC fan. Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. Peace.